Good morning and welcome back to Reading Wikis for You, where we read the wiki articles for you. And today we are reading another viewer suggestion, that of Space Pirate Captain Harlock, a Japanese manga series by Leiji Matsumoto. Now, as always, while I'm reading, don't forget to drop a comment down below. Let me know what article you'd like to hear about next, and we'll go from there. So, with that said, let's get into it. Space Pirate Captain Harlock, also titled Captain Harlock, is a Japanese manga series written and illustrated by Leiji Matsumoto. It was serialized in Akita Shoten's Play comic from January 1977 to June 1979, with the chapters collected into 5 tankobon volumes. The series follows the titular captain, an outcast who has turned into a space pirate to rebel against Earth's government and humanity's general apathy. Space Pirate Captain Harlock was adapted into an anime television series in 1978, directed by Rintaro and produced by Toei Animation. An animated film adaptation of the same name was released in 2013. In August 2014, to celebrate the 60th anniversary of his debut, Matsumoto launched a retelling manga, Captain Harlock Dimensional Voyage, illustrated by Koichi Shimahoshi, which features some significant plot differences. Seven Seas Entertainment has licensed the manga in North America. A sequel comic book written and drawn by Jerome Alquier in collaboration with Matsumoto and published by Ablaze Comics began publication in 2021. Synopsis. In the year 2977 AD, humanity has achieved a vast starfaring civilization but is succumbing to ennui, often due to defeat and subjugation by a foreign invader. Rising against the general apathy, Harlock denies defeat and lands an outlaw crew aboard his starship, Arcadia, to undertake daring raids against Earth's oppressors. Their primary oppressors are the Mazone, a race of organic plant-based alien women who explored Earth in the mythic past and are now back to reclaim it. Characters. The Captain. Harlock is the archetypical romantic hero, a space pirate with an individualist philosophy of life. He is as noble as he is taciturn, rebellious, stoically fighting against totalitarian regimes, whether they be earthborn or alien. Crew of the Arcadia. Tadashi Daiba, or Terrence Terry Drake in English. Voiced by Akira Kamiya in Japanese and Ryan O'Flanagan in English. Daiba is the audience surrogate, the viewer's gateway into Harlock's world. The 14-year-old son of a scientist who was killed by the Mazone, he joined the Arcadia crew following the death of his father. He lost his mother in a disaster on the Neptunian moon Triton when her pleas for help were ignored by the indifferent government. Tadashi is sometimes in conflict with Harlock early in the series, but he would become a trusted part of Harlock's senior staff as the series progressed. Kei Yuki, or Kayla K. Carey in English, voiced by Chiyoko Kawashima in Japanese and Eddie Merman in English. A young human woman with blonde hair who was already part of Harlock's crew at the time Tadashi came aboard. She first met Harlock when he raided a ship that was transporting her back to Earth as a prisoner after she had assaulted a military officer who had belittled her father's death. There is a slight intimation that she harbors a crush on Harlock, though this would be made more definite in the later SSX series, and initially seems inclined romantically towards Tadashi Daiba, though the two eventually settle into a platonic friendship. She is the Arcadia's chief navigator and science officer and the second youngest crew member after Tadashi. Miime, La Mime, or Melody in English, voiced by Noriko Ohara in Japanese, Aline Leslie in English. A mysterious brooding female alien with blue skin and body length blue hair. Like all her race, Miime has no mouth or other facial features outside of almond-shaped yellow eyes. Also, she uses alcohol as a non-intoxicating foodstuff, although drinking large amounts can produce intoxication if it is an extremely high proof. She possesses both psychic and psionic powers and uses them as a means of reducing pain of injuries. Originally from the planet Jura, she became the last of her species after being saved by Harlock and crew. In gratitude, Miime became part of the crew of the Arcadia and pledged her life to Harlock's support and safety, becoming the pirate's nearest companion. Having no mouth, she can still speak and still absorb liquids through the general mouth area. Although not provided an official position aboard the Arcadia, she will help Dr. Zero tend to injured crew members in times of crisis. Her empathic nature makes her a valuable counselor and is capable of quelling pain, anxiety, and of all on board by the strumming of her lap harp. In the 1999 Harlock Saga OVA, she is refashioned to appear as a more humanoid woman and provided a different backstory, making her a member of the Nibelung clan. Here, her preferred musical instrument is the pipe organ and somehow possesses the ability to control time. In 2002's Endless Odyssey OVA, her original look and history return. Miime is depicted as more distinctly alien, but with a face featuring a mouth in the 2013 feature film. Yataran, or Caliban in English, voiced by Hiroshi Otake in Japanese, or Frank Catalano in English. Harlock's first mate on the Arcadia, he is usually portrayed as comic relief in the series, but when a battle against alien threats become imminent, he will be at the captain's side. He is also a brilliant mathematician and has major interest in building plastic model kits of ships. He was even seen building a scale model of the Arcadia in one episode. Yataran is based on manga artist Kaoru Shintani, best known for Area 88, who in his early career worked for Matsumoto building models for reference. Dr. Zero, voiced by Joji Yanami in Japanese and Ted Lehman in English. Dr. Zero is a chief medical officer. Like Yataran, he serves as a comic relief when he argues with the ship's cook, Miss Masu, over his raids of Masu's kitchen to get his beverage of choice, sake. He has a pet cat called Mikun, named Meow in the French version, which he adopted after the then kitten's mother, which was injured and apparently dying, brought him to Zero's office, and was later brought to Zero on board the Arcadia. Dr. Zero's cat, Mikun, also appears in Space Battleship Yamato as Dr. Sato's cat. Mikun also makes on-off appearances in several other animes such as Queen Millennia and Galaxy Express 999. Mikun is based on Matsumoto's own pet cat, the latest of which is named Mikun 3. Maji, voiced by Kenichi Ogata, is the chief engineer. Miss Masu, voiced by Noriko Tsukase, chief steward. Masu Tsunajima is a cantankerous spinster who is intolerant of her kitchen being raided by Dr. Zero or his cat. She is also a comic relief character in the series, although her backstory had her intended to marry her fiancé, Gozo Otowara, before circumstances prevented the wedding from taking place. Masu believes she had been stood up until she learned the truth years later and reconciled with Gozo in a brief communication before Gozo was killed by the Mazone. Tochiro Oyama, or Roger Devlin in English, voiced by Keaton Yamada. Harlock's old friend and chief builder of the Arcadia, he died of illness prior to the events of the series, but his consciousness survives within the ship's computer. Supporting characters. Emeralda is Tochiro's lover and Mayu's mother. She decides to use a spaceship to follow Tochiro's coffin into space after his death. She is an early version of Emeralda's, who would play a greater role in Leiji Matsumoto's later works. Mayu Oyama, or Maya Devlin in English, voiced by Chiyoko Kawashima in Japanese and Reba West in English, is the 7-year-old daughter of Tochiro Oyama and Queen Emeraldas. Harlock takes her under his wing following Tochiro's death and Emeralda's departure, but she is unable to remain with Harlock due to Tochiro's wish that she remain on Earth. Professor Tsuyoshi Daiba, or Professor Drake in English, voiced by Yonehiko Kitagawa. Tadashi Daiba's father, an astronomer and scientist, he was one of the few scientists who saw the aliens' threat and attempted to warn Earth's government before he was killed by the Mazone. Tadashi, affected by his father's murder, joined the Arcadia crew to seek his revenge. Mitsuru Kiruda, or Alexander Kamarov in English, voiced by Hidekatsu Shibata in Japanese and Mike Reynolds, credited as Ray Michaels in English. The leader of Earth's defense forces, he is Harlock's sworn enemy and will stop at nothing to try and eliminate him. Earlier in his life, Kiruta suffered the loss of his father, a government secret agent, during an ill-fated mission, followed by his mother and younger sister Tammy. Blaming the government for his family's death, he rose through the military ranks in order to effect change for the better and, like Professor Daiba before him, tried in vain to warn the Earth government of the Mazone invasion. Kiruda eventually puts his grudge with Harlock aside and sacrifices himself defending the Arcadia's main computer against Mazone troopers. Throughout the series, he is constantly concerned with the welfare of Mayu, even going as far as to take a scorpion sting for her. The Mazone. The Mazone are the major villains of the original 1978 series are a race of intelligent plant-based beings in female humanoid form, with a few taking male form. As the race is asexual, their apparent gender is superficial rather than functional. When a Mazone dies, its corpse spontaneously burns up until nothing is left but ashes. Queen Rafflesia, or Regina in English, voiced by Haruko Kitahama in Japanese and Barbara Goodson in English. The reigning monarch of the Mazone, she is determined to lead her people to make Earth their new home following the destruction of their home planet. As cruel as she is beautiful, Rafflesia was once a wise and kind ruler, but the situation of her people leads her to change for the worse as the series progresses. She initially did not see Harlock as a major threat and even saved his life early on, but would later come to regret it. Faced with a plot to kidnap Mayu Aoyama as a means to draw out Harlock, Rafflesia resists at first, considering such a tactic as unethical at best, but she later gives in when faced with the threat of the Arcadia to the Mazone, which later causes discord among the alien invaders. During a final showdown against Harlock, it is eventually discovered that Rafflesia is not Mazone, but human. After defeating her in their duel, Harlock allows Rafflesia to leave Earth with her people and settle elsewhere. Her name is taken from the Rafflesia, a genus of parasitic plants, sometimes also referred to as a corpse flower. Commander Cleo, voiced by Akiko Tsuboi. The commanding officer of the Mazone Royal Armada and Queen Rafflesia's chief confidant, she would come up with the plot to have the Mayu kidnapped to get Harlock's attention and draw him into battle with the Mazone ruler. Cleo is later killed by Tadashi Daiba. Commander Cassandra is a ruthless commander of the Mazone's Royal Armada's third quadrant and is willing to use dishonorable tactics to attempt to win battles, including using the Mazone civilian fleet as shields against attacks by the Arcadia, a tactic devised following the destruction of a civilian ship she tried to protect, which Harlock erroneously believed was a Mazone command vessel. She is killed when Harlock lures the main force of her fleet away with his mobile repair dock, leaving Cassandra's ship open to undefended attack. Shizuka Namino, voiced by Nana Yamaguchi. A Mazone spy posing as the Earth Prime Minister's secretary, she attempts to assassinate the Prime Minister and set Kiruta up to take the blame for the deed, then springs Kiruta from prison and attempts to seek sanctuary on the Arcadia, with the intent of sabotaging the ship from the inside. Harlock discovers Shizuka's origins and subsequently grants her asylum on his ship after Queen Rafflesia deserts her and later orders her killed. Unable to return to the Mazone caravan, Shizuka, showing admiration for Harlock's noble actions in taking her aboard, forces him to kill her rather than face certain death at the Mazone's hand. Harlock later tells Kiruta, who had feelings for Shizuka, that she had died a hero battling the Mazone, never revealing to him that she was a Mazone herself. Shizuka would later return in the 2002 Endless Odyssey OVA series as a holographic assistant of Professor Daiba, aside from having dark hair in that series instead of the red hair she had in the Space Pirate series. She looked the same in both shows, but she is intended to be different characters in the two series. TV series adaptation. Production. Directed by Rintaro, the series features a dramatic narrative and a symphonic score performed by the Tokyo Philharmonic. While superficially a space opera, the series raises a number of issues from the challenges in the life of men to the limits of violence as an effective solution to problems. For example, Harlock is sympathetic to the plight of the Mazone, a refugee people fleeing a dying planet, and he finds no pleasures in his battles with them. Distribution. In 1978, a faithful English subtitled version of the original series appeared uncut on the Honolulu-based Japanese-language UHF station KIKU. The following year, KIKU-TV distributed the series to other Japanese-language programmers on the mainland, with KEMO-TV in San Francisco leading the way on Sunday nights at 8 p.m. Other cities where the series was broadcast include Los Angeles and New York. An English-dubbed version of a handful of the 1978 Captain Harlock TV episodes saw limited release in the U.S. in 1981, mostly on cable and produced by Ziv International, and given a VHS release by Family Home Entertainment. In all, 4 episodes of the series were dubbed, with the initial 2 episodes produced, episodes 1 and 9, appearing faithful to the original story. Several names were changed, such as the Mazones becoming Zetons and Yataran becoming Youngblood. 2 further episodes, 2 and 3, were given a far less serious dub by Ziv, and one of the most highly joked elements in this adaptation was the change of Tadashi Daiba's name to Tommy Hairball. These episodes were subsequently acquired and redistributed in the early 1990s by Malibu Graphics, who advertised the episodes as never before seen and completely unedited, when in reality the videos were badly mastered with music drowning out dialogue and the audio and video falling out of sync on numerous occasions. The 1978 series was dubbed again in 1985, this time by Harmony Gold USA, and known as Captain Harlock and the Queen of 1,000 Years. Using the same style as Robotech to meet TV syndication's 65-plus episode requirement, the Harlock series was connected with another Matsumoto series, Queen Millennia, to tell an intertwining story. Harmony Gold had originally planned to combine the original series with the 1982 Harlock series Endless Road SSX, but they had to change their plans upon learning the cost of obtaining the American rights to the second show. Unlike Robotech, episodes were made by intercutting whole scenes from each of the component series in each episode, with the Queen Millennia story never reaching its original conclusion. This method of re-editing was very confusing, difficult to follow, and plot points would often change from one episode to the next with no apparent explanation. Despite the title, the two title characters never appear on screen together. This version never saw wide release in North America. Toei only recently released the show in 2008 as a pay-to-watch service on IGN's Direct-to-Drive, but then in 2009 it decided to provide it for free on Crunchyroll to those who are willing to wait a certain number of days, and as part of a subscription to those who want it immediately. Funimation, as well as Crunchyroll and Hulu, have all the episodes with subtitles streaming on each site's respective video portal. In 2009, William Winkler Productions produced two all-new English-dubbed film versions edited from the original series, each running 105 minutes. Producer William Winkler, known for the English version of Tekkamon the Space Knight, wrote, produced, and directed these English-dubbed compilations, which are available in Japan only on the Toei Anime BB Premium Broadband service. Discotek Media released the complete series on DVD in one subtitled box set for North America on August 27, 2013. All right, here's a list of episodes. I am not going to read off all of the titles. They are going to be linked, or they are going to be listed in the article linked down below. There's going to be a separate article for the feature film, but that'll be for another video. So I do hope you enjoyed a little bit of that background. I know I learned a bit more about it, but let me know down in the comments. Have you seen it? Are you a fan? What is it that, what did you find interesting here? Let us know. But regardless, thank you for watching. Don't forget, hit the like button, hit subscribe if you're new here. And as always, drop a comment down below and let us know what you'd like to hear more about. So thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you next time.